Hello everyone and welcome to Chateau de Montmartin. In this video I'm gonna show you a room that I've been basically renovating for a lot of time. It took me a lot of time to renovate it. I'm gonna present it to you now. We're going to the golden living room that is now finished, excepted two things, which is varnishing the floor and which is putting some decoration on the wall, but that isn't a big deal. So I'm gonna take you now to a proper golden 18th century living room that is now looking as it may have originally looked in the 18th century. Follow me. Walking now to this room, and I'm gonna explain you all the details, everything that I did to have this golden living room now looking properly. Switching on the lights so that you see the crystal chandelier on the ceiling lighting up and being all clean. So one thing after another. Let's talk about renovation. Actually, I may find some old recordings or some old pictures of this room to show you how it was before I started renovating it. So, first of all, the floor. Wooden floor, now cleaned, or should I say sanded. Sanded because it was painted red. A horrible red paint that was completely destroying the look of this nice wooden floor. So it took me a lot of time to sand it. What I did was renting a big sanding machine specially made for this kind of floors, and after several hours with a very heavy and powerful sanding machine, I basically could remove all of those red paintings. After that, I had all of the red paintings still there on the edges. Actually, looking very properly, I think you can still see just a bit of red painting still being there, which was forgotten. Because when you rent this very big machine, you cannot do all of the edges. All of the edges along the walls also just doesn't work. So you need to rent another machine that is properly made for the edges. So then there was a second round, renting this machine and sanding it. And also over there was kind of very old and nice actually, cast iron wooden fireplace. I'm not sure to know exactly the word in English for that. In French we would say un poêle à bois. So kind of a wooden oven. Here it is. It was super heavy. You see there are some nice little parts here. This is the thing that was sitting in this living room. So the point was to remove it. I mean, we don't need that. The way the tube for the fumes, chimney in a way, was connected to the wall was not nice. It was basically making an angle, starting there, going up there, and then only horizontally to the wall. So really not nice with this L shape. So I've removed that. I've put some stones to close the hole, of course. Then some plaster to have it flat, and then painting it. So then we needed to remove all the wallpapers. There were all of these walls were full of wallpapers that were super nice looking, but of the wrong color. They were kind of dark. They were a bit of, between orange, there was some orange in it, and there were some dark red color kind of stuff. And because this living room is a bit special, it only has one window, even if we are in the 18th century and the windows are super big in this chateau. Just to show you how big they are. I'm gonna stand here next to one And by standing, I can go up to the, basically, the second the second piece of glass, and there are many more over there. The ceilings are at about above 4 meters, 4 meters 15, I think, something like that. So going back to this wallpaper, so we had to remove it. They were basically too dark. Then that was kind of easy, but by removing it, some old plaster that were sitting just behind the wallpapers basically fall off. And we were removing all of this old plaster at the same time. So it was a whole of a mess. Of course, at this point in time, the wall was not flat at all anymore. Then we discovered that the ceiling, some kind of white material, white textile material, a bit of a wallpaper in a way, but white and painted, what has been put on the ceiling to hide all of the cracks, all of the not nice parts of the ceilings. First of all, because it was still looking nice, we decided to reglue it. And it was looking super nice. So we reglue it. When we came the following weekend, everything was again falling off. So I was super angry. I was super angry against my girlfriend because I told her that she hasn't put enough glue on it, and she was trying not to remove them and just adding a bit of glue where it was falling off. So I removed big portions of it. On average, for one piece of material, I would have removed almost half of it and gluing it heavily. It lasted 2 weeks. 2 weeks after, we went back, it was night, and we went back again the following weeks and the second week. So when we were back, everything has again fallen off. So we decided to remove it all. And by tearing this paper off the ceilings, again, we lost a lot of plaster that was making the ceiling flat. Well done. So at this point in time, it was time to do some plastering. So what I did was here, plastering a lot to have the wall kind of flat. Ceiling, same story. Having a lot of plaster, sanding, replastering, resanding, replastering, resanding at least 3 or 4 times until I have a completely flat and beautiful ceiling. And then 2 layers of paint. Proper English, trying to speak in proper English. Sorry, I'm French. Here, I've decided not to paint it, but to go for, what would be the English name? In French, we would say crépi. Crépi is kind of a material made with a bit of sand inside it. It's also something that is a bit chemical. It does contain kind of glue, I don't know, some acrylic stuff. So it is kind of heavy, kind of resistant also. But I wanted some sand that was super, super small because I don't want this kind of material that was made for outdoors. It wouldn't look nice. I wanted something really soft and really with a really small sand grain in it. Filming it to you so that you can see. So I had the scaffolding there in place, and I basically, putting this material all over my 3 big walls, and I can tell you that the surface are really big. I'm super happy with the result. It's very homogeneous, very nice. The color turns out super nice. It's very, very light yellowish color that fits very nicely the floor and the golden painting. After that, what did I do? I did sand, of course, all of the wooden panels, all of the boiseries in French. And after that, painting. at least 2 or 3 or 4, I didn't count the number of times I painted these stupid wooden panels, because at one point we left again, and when I went back the week after, a lot of cracks happened everywhere. So basically this wooden panel, super big, that was super nice and homogeneous, had cracked right in the middle just because the variation of temperature make them move, make them work in every direction, and they do crack. So I did some research, and what I found is that an acrylic ceiling is actually the best way to fill in the cracks, because it's still a bit soft. It stays a bit soft, it doesn't go that hard, and so it avoids, first of all, it fills the cracks, and then it avoids also future cracks. So problem is, I was too much in a rush. So I took some dark gray acrylic ceiling, and I thought that some white paint would cover it in one go. Not at all. So I had a lot of straights of dark gray all over there. Everywhere I had crack, and I think I still have one here. I'm gonna present it to you. I forgot to paint it. Here you can see my fault. Stupid. This stupid dark gray acrylic ceiling. Then I changed, of course. I went to white acrylic ceiling. It was much better. Couldn't almost see it, and with one layer of paint, it would just disappear. So a lot of painting. And then it was fine. And then the last point, the finishing, is these golden stripes. So these golden lines. My mother actually painted the one above the doors. There are 3 of them. And I painted all of the others. I'm super happy with the result. It looks very shiny, very gold, really not fake. Of course, it's less good than having very thin layer of real gold that you would glue on it. This would be the traditional way of doing it, but it's much more expensive, much more time consuming, and I just didn't want to go for this kind of effort here. Maybe one day in the future. I also have some furniture with some bronze, need some golden layers, so I may just practice on that first. So yeah, basically put some tape all around, painted in gold, and then removing the tape, it just removed the white paint that was below it. So I had to restart again. And so after having done one panel, I've decided to paint this stupid gold thing without any tape, just directly. The beginning was a bit hard, but now I can tell you, I really have the movement in my fingers to do it directly. So I can now directly take some paint and paint it directly without any security measure. So one last thing that was done, electricity also. All of this electricity is newly done. All the wires are new, but it was done outside. So I've basically put them into the wall by making a hole there, then doing some plastering. And once everything was flat and properly buried into the wall, I put some modern electricity plugs there. So this is basically new here, also putting some new same story and also some there. Here you can see still some of the old ones. The wires are completely fresh and recent, that's all fine. But because they are close to a wooden panel, I didn't want to cut the wooden panel to bury them into it. I wasn't sure about it. So I've left them. They are painted in the same color as the wooden panel, so they kind of disappear, let's say. And the last thing that needs to be done, actually there are 2 stuff that still needs to be done here. Actually maybe 3. First of all, varnishing the floor, because The floor will not stay like this, it will just rotten, I think, and maybe be gray again, which I don't want the gray color, because it just doesn't look nice. So I'm gonna use the same varnish that I've been using in the bedrooms. It's very nice because it's made for heavy movement on it. It's it's basically a varnish made for staircase. So it's super nice because you know that once you use that, you're safe for 30 years easily. That's one thing. The other thing is it is slightly tinted. I like it because it does average all of the little flaws that the floor may still have, and it would darken very slightly the color. We are calling it in French a honey color. And then I have these little parts passing by from one room to another. I don't have the same levels, so I need to make a new little wooden parts to have something easier and not to step over this little step. And the same story goes for actually here, where actually this part is now completely rotten and dead, so I need to take care of that and add a little piece of wood. So finishing this video with a very lovely sun, maybe even too aggressive, but in 1 hour I'm sure the sky will turn beautiful and red, as it always does here. Look at the view. Look at the view that we have here in this chateau. I don't know if I can film with the sun in front, but every living room, because we are sitting on the top of the hill, every living room has this crazy view, completely crazy, sitting on top of the hill, seeing the valley down there, and being placed, even if it's an 18th century chateau, being placed as a medieval castle. So I hope you liked this video. I was a bit extensive in the renovation I did. See you for the next one. Bye bye.